It might be plus or minus 2 more hours or plus or minus 3 more hours. Clear?
Sure. Yeah.
And about the software and the material, no need to worry about that. Okay. If you have already an existing Linux operating system with you, you can use that, or I'll share a VM, and also I'll share a JBoss application server software. So when I'm saying the JBoss application server software, the version I'll be concentrating is on the JBoss EAP 6.2.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
So material, once we are done with each and every topic, I generally share the material. Okay. And since you are already working, I'm sure this exercise might not be needed for you, which is nothing but assignment. Okay. I generally, once I complete some bunch of topics, I generally give an assignments. It will just help you to understand to what extent you are comfortable with my training. Okay. Because unless until you don't get exposure, you don't get an understanding of what extent is this knowledge helpful. So generally I tend to give an assignments, but there's more for a freshers. Since you've already been there in industry for a 1.5 year of time, I'm not sure if that is really needed. If it's needed, let me know. I'll share the assignments. Okay?
Yeah.
So sorry, you had some questions?
No questions, Shiva.
Perfect. So coming about the tentative date of starting and the cost, timing and the cost, you can get in touch with the SVR people. They'll be better able to help you out with that. Okay? But the important thing is about the topics, okay, which is a primary focus for every one of us. As I said, okay, my version, the version of the JBoss EAP 6. EAP version I'll be talking is about JBoss EAP 6.x. So if you go in a standard edition or in an open version, it is called as in 7.x Wildfly. Do you know about what is meant by Wildfly and Red Hat? What's the difference between them?
Sorry, I don't have idea.
Cool, no problem. So when JBoss was initially being introduced, it was initially introduced into the market with the from the portal called as in jboss.org. Like how we have Apache Tomcat. You know about Apache Tomcat? Anytime heard about it?
Yeah. It's a web server.
It's an application server. Okay. Let's not get into the discussion of why it's a web server or application server. Okay. The reason why is that some people call it as an application server. Some people still call it as a web container. Okay. There's a difference between a web server and a web container. Okay. So if you see a JBoss application server is basically an application server initially introduced from jboss.org. What is this jboss.org? Like apache.org, jboss.org is also an open source application server. And the application server that was coming from the jboss.org is an open source application server. The web server or the application server like Apache web server or the Apache Tomcat server is coming from the apache.org. That's an open source forum. In a similar way, the application server coming from the jboss.org is called as a JBoss standard edition. Okay, so it's available at free of cost. Anyone and everyone can take it. This was a trend till 5.x. Okay, but Red Hat people, what they were doing is that they took over this jboss.org. Okay, and they said that guys, if you're taking the JBoss application server from the open source forum called as jboss.org, you don't get a cost. Okay, it's a free of cost. Second thing, if you are stuck with some issue, no one will be there to help you out, since it's an open source application server. What I'll be doing is that, okay, you take the JBoss application server from me. Okay, it has exactly the same features that are there in the JBoss coming from the jboss.org. Add it, okay, it might have more features but will not have less features. You take the JBoss from me, okay, I'll give a support. I'll do a licensing support for you. Okay, so that was the trend started from 5.x. Okay, before that everyone used to get the JBoss application server software from jboss.org, because if you see the commercial banks like if you go to an MNC, like if you see the Citibank, if you see the Bank of America, they can't take the risk of putting their products on open source. Why? It's more vulnerable. It's more prone to the security threats. So what happened was that, okay, so people understood that and they said that, okay, rather than take it from the jboss.org, let me take it from the Red Hat. So the application server, the JBoss application server coming from the Red Hat company, we call it as an enterprise edition.
Okay.
Clear? The JBoss application server coming from the jboss.org or the JBoss community, we call it as an standard edition or the community edition. The JBoss application server coming from the Red Hat company, Red Hat people, we call it as an enterprise edition. Clear?
Okay. So there's
For
a difference
every
in enterprise edition and the community edition, right?
Yeah. The enterprise edition is nothing but it's a licensed JBoss application server
right.
coming from the Red Hat company. Okay.
How does it cost? Any idea? How does it cost for a licensing of a JBoss application server?
The licensing of a JBoss application server depends upon the support contract you're trying to go with. Again, this has a developer edition and the corporate edition. Will not. That's again different story. Okay.
Right.
Once we get into with the training, let me know after we are done with the installation. I can betterly help you with that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the JBoss application server coming from the jboss.org, okay, is called as standard edition or the community edition. The JBoss application server coming from the Red Hat people, from the Red Hat company, we call it as an enterprise edition. Clear?
Clear. Yeah.
Yeah. And for every N version of the standard edition, we'll have N-1 enterprise edition. Clear? For every N version of the standard edition, we'll have an N-1 enterprise edition. For example, JBoss application server people have come up with an JBoss standard edition 2. Then the JBoss enterprise edition would be 2-1, which is JBoss EAP 1. Clear? Yeah. I'm just giving you as an example. Technically speaking, we don't have enterprise 1.0 JBoss version. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Point number 1. And point number 2. After the JBoss EAP application server 6.x got released, Red Hat people started saying that whatever the standard edition coming from the jboss.org will now be stopped and it will be released with a different name in a different site called as an Wildfly. Am I clear? JBoss application server coming after the JBoss standard edition 6.x, they kept it with a different name in a different site called as an Wildfly. Wildfly is also an open source JBoss community, but they're given a different name, different portal, different address for that. Clear?
Yeah.
Any questions?
So currently, if I'm using 6.2 JBoss, then it's a Wildfly version.
That depends whether you got an enterprise or a standard edition. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So just check whether you got this software from the Red Hat people or whether you guys have downloaded it from the portal. According to that, I can comment whether it's a standard or an enterprise or furthermore on that.
As far as I consider, I think it's EAP only.
Then if it's a EAP, then it's a Red Hat Enterprise Edition coming from the Red Hat people. It's not a Wildfly edition. Wildfly is it's like since you already work with EAP, JBoss 5.x and 6.x, do you see any big difference between JBoss EAP 5.x and 6.x, or it's okay? Some few new features have been added, or do you see any major differences?
No major difference.
No major surprise. If you see the JBoss EAP
folder structure, folder structure is different.
Okay. The profiles are different. The way we do the deployment is different. The clustering is different. The messaging is different. Correct?
Yeah, right. Different. Yes.
Something like a revamp. If you would have seen the Hrithik Roshan before he was coming into the movies, okay, before Kahana Pyara got released, 2 to 3 years before, he used to be very. He used to not be that muscular. Okay? But the moment the Kahana Pihara got released, he completely revamped himself. Okay? Same Hrithik Roshan, but he got revamped himself.
Okay.
Correct? If you see yourself also, assuming that you did your education as if you are engineering graduate, when you're there in a college, your behavior will be now in one way. But the moment you join the company, you'll be completely revamping yourself, reinventing yourself, so that you can better suit to the corporate work culture. Clear?
Yeah.
Similarly, over here also, JBoss application server 5.x, and when you make it a comparison with a 6.x, it's a complete revamp of it. If anyone says that I want to learn JBoss EAP 6.x, do I need to know JBoss 4.x or 5.x? No, nothing like that. It's a complete revamp or a complete reinvention of the JBoss application server. In JBoss EAP 5.x, we have the profiles like all, default, minimal, default like that. We have got multiple profiles for different reasons. In 6.x, it's not like that. We have only 4 profiles: full, HA, default, full -HA. Okay. So like that, if you see the JBoss application server 5.x and compare with the 6.x, it's a complete revamp. Clear?
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Did they answer your question?
Yes.
Any more questions I can help you?
Okay. So for the installation purpose, is that the same? We have options: standalone mode and we have one more, domain mode.
Domain mode.
Right. Yeah. So for all the versions, do we have these options, or only for 6.x?
Only from 6.x we have this option.
Yeah.
Before that we didn't have this option. We used to just unzip the software, JBoss installation is done.
Right.
Okay. And most of the time we used to go with the default profile. That's the reason I'm saying, even in the market also, 4.x already got absolute, which is nothing but end of the life. Okay. 5.x also, I hardly see anyone using that. Probably I can count the number of companies on my fingertips. Let me put it in this way. Okay. 6.x is what everyone is preferring to go and everyone is using. Majority. When I'm saying everyone, not everyone in the company, majority of the companies.
Yeah, right.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions?
No.
Perfect. So we talked about the trading mode. Okay. The trading would be starting mostly from Monday or after Jan 1st. Okay, which is nothing but Jan 4th. Okay. We talked about the software and the material. We talked about the version. The version of the JBoss application server I'll be talking is JBoss EAP 6.2. I'll be giving you the software as well as the material. Okay. And if you don't, assuming that you don't have that software, and coming to the course content, which is a little bit very important for us. Okay. These are the topics I would be talking as part of my training. Okay, which includes clustering, web server, performance tuning, what is meant by domain mode, what is meant by standalone mode, what is meant by CLI, what is meant by logging, how do we do the installation, everything over here I'll be talking. Okay, these course contents are in line with the JB 248 exam. Anyone heard about JB 248?
Hello. Yes. Can you repeat?
Aisha, can you able to hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, Shiva.
Yeah, these are the topics we would be talking as part of the training. Okay. I'm sure SVR will be sharing a copy of the course content with you. If you see that a certain topic is there of your priority, okay, and which isn't there in the course content, kindly let me know. We'll start working on that. Clear?
Yeah.
Similarly, a certain topic you already know and you say that, hey Shiva, this topic I already know it. Please don't keep it in the course content. We can even accommodate that. But as a topic which is of your primary importance, okay, or which is a primary preference of your work, which is not included here and which you want me to talk, in case if that is a topic which I feel if it's only meant for you, I'll take a one-on-one training with you. Otherwise, I'll do it along with the class.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
But course content point of view, I'm completely flexible.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
You can edit, you can delete, you can add, you can let me know any deviations you have on the course content. I can comfortably accommodate that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'll ask even the SVR people also to share this copy with you. But other than this, do you have any questions for me?
No, sure.
Perfect. Since you're not having any questions for me, let me break here for today. Still, SVR people or Daniel will be there in the call. You can continue giving your feedback to him. Okay? And
Right.
according to your inputs, we'll start the session either from Monday or from the Jan 4th, which is the next to next Monday. Okay?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Daniel, you're there in the call? Daniel, you're there in the call? Actually, you have got something to share? Did you
No,
talk?
nothing. I'll talk to him separately on the phone. I'll give him a call.
Excellent. That would be really great. Okay. So let me do one thing. Then let me break here for today. Okay. Please pass
Sure.
on your feedback to him. And according to that, we'll plan for a batch. All the best. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Reva. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. Take care. Bye.
Bye.